Ever since I did my bookshelf reorganization, I've really cut back on how many books I've been buying. The books that I have bought were pre-orders or anticipated releases, and I read them pretty immediately. But this month, I strayed from that a little bit. So I didn't go too crazy, especially compared to the book hauls that I used to do. But for me this year, this is a lot of books to have acquired in a short amount of time. But I'm excited about all of them. I'm excited to show you what I got. And I am excited to incorporate them into my TBR. I'm going to start off with a trip to a used bookstore that I made. I picked up a few really good books for really good prices. So I have been in the mood for horror, and I found this horror anthology called The Darkest Night, which is edited by Lindy Ryan. And it features short stories from a bunch of popular authors. And I've had this on my wish list for a while, so I was excited to find it for $5. Josh Malerman, Rachel Harrison, Darcy Coates, Eric LaRocca. Lots of heavy hitters in here, and I'm really excited to pick this one up. This seems to be kind of winter focused, and I love reading a wintry horror book, so definitely going to be on my winter horror TBR. Next, I have a shorter book, The Patient by Jasper DeWitt. The stickers are still on because I tried to peel off the first sticker and it shredded to pieces. But this one follows a man who is a psychologist, and there's a guy in the psych ward somewhere, and everyone who encounters this patient is driven to madness or commits suicide, and I guess he's trying to figure out what's up there. It sounds really strange, and the front flap says, "I write this because as of now I am not sure if I am privy to a terrible secret or if I myself am insane." And that was just very intriguing. I think this is a bit of a thriller and horror, and it just sounds like a good time. And then a book that I recently mentioned I wanted to read, or actually another short story, is The Shawshank Redemption by Stephen King. I've had multiple people recently tell me that this is one of their favorite books of all time, or movies of all time. But not me prompting them saying that I've been reading Stephen King recently. Like, this is just people's favorite thing. So I wanted to read it. I think this was part of a bigger novella collection, but it's also been released in a single little story here. And I really want to get to this one soon because I keep hearing it brought up. I've heard it mentioned like 3 or 4 different times in the wild. I haven't watched the movie either, so I know it's just someone is falsely sent to prison, I think. So excited to see the story there. And then another Stephen King revival. This book is like perfect condition for $5.50. What a deal. This one I've been hearing about, so I think I've told you I'm in my Stephen King era, I want to say. I don't know how much longer it'll last. I have at least 1 or 2 more planned to read, but I wanted to pick this one up too. I've heard fantastic things about the ending that has a very exciting, crazy twist. But this one follows a small town and like a lot of religious stuff. A new reverend comes to town with his wife that everyone seems to be obsessed with. And I think it's gonna be weird and creepy and have an exciting ending, supposedly. So I love big twists, I love big reveal. So I was excited to pick this one up as well. And then I'm filming this before the rest of my October purchases have arrived. So I did order my very first Aardvark box. Aardvark is a book club subscription, kind of like Book of the Month, but they definitely have a different focus of genres, more horror, thriller, fantasy than Book of the Month does. And this one is another horror anthology. However, it's Aardvark's first like book that they've published. So Aardvark put together a horror collection with authors who have been featured in their boxes before. So this one has Stephen Graham Jones, Rachel Harrison, S.A. Barnes, Jennifer Thorne, and it's called One Bad Night. And I've enjoyed a couple of those authors before, so I just had to pick it up. And I'm excited to look into Aardvark more. I've been a Book of the Month member for years and years, but I've been skipping for like the last 6 months. I'm excited to have another option out there with Aardvark. And then speaking of Book of the Month, I have 2 books coming from them. So since it's my birthday month and I'm a BFF, you get a free book for your birthday month. So I obviously wanted to pick up a book so I could also get a free book. So the October pick that I selected is The Haunting of Payne's Hollow by Kelly Armstrong. This is a paranormal thriller horror type book, which is kind of inspired by the Legends of Sleepy Hollow, but there's a bunch of like supernatural undead creatures haunting this town. And it follows a woman whose grandfather passes away and he left her a house, a lakefront property, and she has to live there for at least a month in order to inherit it. Her father killed himself after being accused of murdering a child 15 years ago. And now that she's in this town, she is uncovering some truths from her past. Her grandfather always said that her father didn't commit the crime. So I think she's finding out more about that. And also it's a creepy haunted town, which sounds like so much fun. And then I also picked up Play Nice by Rachel Harrison, which I realize I've said her name 3 times in this video already. Never read her before, but she's very busy in the horror community. Play Nice is a story about a woman who, again, inherits a house. But this one is from her mother that passed away. And I think there's monsters in there. So, very excited to read it. I love a haunted house story. And I like the idea of paranormal creatures being a part of it. So, those are on the way. And now I have 2 boxes here. One is a pre-order that I actually intended to cancel. I've been canceling a ton of my pre-orders this year. So I'm like, if I'm not going to read it right away, I don't need it right away, especially with the price of books nowadays. But this one slipped through the cracks, even though I did not plan on reading it quite yet. And that is What Fury Brings by Trisha Levenseller. So I have enjoyed Trisha Levenseller's books in the past. She normally writes young adult books. So years ago when I was enjoying those, I liked her Pirate King and Siren Queen series. And now Trisha Levenseller is making her Romantasy debut. I've not tried much Romantasy, but from what I did try, I hated it. So I thought I could try a Romantasy book by an author that I've enjoyed before. I then decided maybe I didn't care, well, so much to do that. That looks, well, okay. I thought this might be a good place for me to try Romantasy again. I don't know. I'm scared. This book is beautiful. And I just randomly started reading from the middle of the book and okay. We'll see what happens with this book. I'm just going to set it aside for now. And now we're going to go to the worst part of my book haul, which is me getting on a website, randomly browsing books that are on sale and just picking stuff up. That's how I ended up with this mess. It's just the random browsing and buying stuff on sale. I'm allowing it this time, but it better not become a habit again. So first I have Buried Deep and Other Stories by Naomi Novik. This is another short story collection. So I think some of them are related to like Spinning Silver, the Temrare series, the Scrollomancer series, and it's so cute, and I think it's going to be very like fairy tale vibes because that's the kind of writing she has anyway. So then to have like a collection of stories, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Naomi Novik has beautiful writing. Spinning Silver is such a good book and one that I've really loved. Then I have this beauty, Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher. This one is a re-release, I think. They came out with a special edition. And this one follows a woman who unsheaths a sword, and a man or a god or a genie, whatever it is trapped in the sword. And she's surprised to find a man pop out of the sword. And now he's like sworn his loyalty to her, and they have to work together to get her out of her current situation. And I think they fall in love, and I think it's gonna be cute. I don't know that I've read a full-length novel from T. Kingfisher yet. I've read a lot of books or novellas like under 300 pages, so this one looks a little bit bigger. It is full fantasy, but T. Kingfisher is such a great author. I love her books, so I'm really excited to have this one in my hands now. And then these darn editions. I have matching, are they up there? Oh, right here. This is a Paper Mill Press edition of Dracula, and it matches my other ones. It's spooky season, so I picked it up. We all know who Dracula is by Bram Stoker, but this edition is just so soft and beautiful. It has the bookmarks. Who doesn't love a good vampire story? I then have Flowers from the Void by Gianni Washington. Another collection of short horror stories. Can you see the theme here? This one is all by the one author, and she's writing spooky stuff, gothic tales. witches, just all sorts of different horror topics. It's a little one, but I'm very excited to pick it up because I'd never heard of it before. I was just browsing, saw it, and was like, ooh, I'm intrigued. So hopefully I'll get to this one soon. We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluwer. I totally missed the train last year when everyone was reading and loving this book, but I've seen so many people enjoy this. We have a young couple in a new home. One day a family comes up and says, we used to live here, and the man wants to like show his family, or maybe show his children where he used to live. I don't know, but they let the family in and weird stuff starts happening. I would absolutely never let someone in my home. I barely let the maintenance man in my home. I'm not sure exactly what kind of horror scary this is, but I just know everyone loves it, and I love a haunted house. I need more haunted houses in my life. And then finally, not horror, A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. This is a sci-fi short cozy read. It is a monk and robot book. I have book 2 in this. I at one point gave my sister book 1, and I just have book 2, and every time I talk about book 2, I say how my sister took the first one, and she's probably sick of me saying that, but I finally replaced it, got my own book 1, and I'm excited to read it. I've heard great things about it. We have a monk who makes tea and a robot like figuring out what it means to be human. It sounds sweet and cute and sad and reflective, and I wouldn't mind dipping my toe back into a little sci-fi soon. So those are all the books that I've picked up recently. I've already done my fall TBR. If you haven't seen that already, you should go check it out, but I definitely plan on adding a couple of these to that TBR. I just have so many books that I want to read in the next couple of months, and I'm trying to figure out like which ones I want to read the most, because there's so many good ones on my radar. So let me know what you're reading this month, what cool books you've picked up recently. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video soon.